ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಮೂಷಿಕ ವಾಹನ.
ಮೂಷಿಕ ವಾಹನ ಮೋದಕ ಹಸ್ತ ಚಾಮರ ಕರ್ಣ ವಿಲಂಬಿತ ಸೂತ್ರ ವಾಮನ ರೂಪ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರ ಪುತ್ರ ವಿಘ್ನ ವಿನಾಶಕ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ವಿಘ್ನ ವಿನಾಶಕ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
Which item should we do today? Should we do Rashtapadi or?
Yes, we will do Rashtapadi.
So, what are the Ashtapadis that you know, that you have already learned? You've done Dashavatara. You've done, of course. Yeah. So that is the Natha Hare we've done, and we've done that. So today we'll do Sakhiye.
Yes.
Okay. So let us just go through the Ashtapadi as a dramatic, classical lyrical poetry, and we'll just talk about what is special about the Ashtapadi as compared to, every other song that we do in our dance style, and why is it so important to do an Ashtapadi for a mature artist to perform an Ashtapadi in her repertoire. Okay, so do you know anything about the Ashtapadi that you can share with me, that you know why is it superior to other poetry?
I think it is the height of Shringara.
Yes. So today I'll teach you an Ashtapadi, and I was thinking of teaching you Sakhiye K.C. Madanabhudaram. Is that okay? So Sakhiye K.C. Madanabhudaram, as you know, is the first time, Radha is recounting the first time that she saw Krishna or set her eyes on Krishna. There are various ways in which the Ashtapadi is dealt by different dancers, and as I often say, the pinnacle of Shringara is an Ashtapadi. I mean, if a dancer is mature and a dancer has been performing so many other items all the time, she or he has to learn Ashtapadi, because the emotional content of an Ashtapadi and what it allows you to do, the lyrics are one thing which define the Sthayi Bhava, but then you go beyond the Sthayi Bhava and you start thinking about the emotion behind the Sthayi and the variations that you can give to that particular emotion. So for that, I think an Ashtapadi is beautiful, because you don't have to concentrate on the words. There are words, it's wordy. A lot of people who criticize the Ashtapadi say that if there are less number of words, then you can do a lot more Sanchari Bhava, and if there are more words, if it's very wordy, then you get restricted to words. So yes, in our other styles, they tend to be literal when they do an Ashtapadi, and they try to do something like a Sanchari Bhava around the Ashtapadi. But in Bharatanatyam, when we deal with an Ashtapadi, we normally teach Ashtapadi to a very, very mature dancer who understands how to fix the Sthayi, and then once you fix the Sthayi, your sanchari and your vyabhichari bhava and all go around the sthai, and it becomes easier for you to deal with the situation that the hero or the heroine find themselves in. Yeah?
So this is completely Shringara.
It is the pinnacle of Shringara. And when we say Shringara, again I have to clarify, because in the north they say Shringara as in Shringar, decorating oneself and all that. Of course it's not that, we know that. For us, Shringara is erotic love, and in erotic love, like I said, it is the principal rasa. And in that rasa you get every other rasa, every other bhava. All the other bhavas come in Shringara.
Anger, jealousy.
Everything, like Veera also for that matter, or Bipatsa. I mean, so many other rasas. You can just bring them into Shringara bhava, and that is why Shringara is known as the primordial rasa that governs creation itself, not just dance, but
And
creation
Ashtapadi is
itself.
the penultimate of all of that.
I think it's the ultimate, not just the penultimate, for me personally, because I'll tell you why. I mean, it's a 12th century poem, as most of us know. And the saying is that Jayadeva was an ascetic for a long time, yeah. He was a bhakt of Krishna. That was when the bhakti movement started, basically. Between the 12th and 17th century, you had a lot of poets, from all over India who were writing poetry for some god or the other, but mostly in the Vaishnavite poets for Krishna, Vishnu, various aspects of Krishna, Vishnu, and other gods related to that. So Jayadeva was a 12th century poet, and before he became a poet, I believe he was an ascetic, and he was into the rigors of asceticism, like no woman, no nothing. And until he went to Jagannath temple, the story goes, and that a pandit in Jagannath temple told him that Jagannath himself had told the pandit that Jayadeva would marry his daughter, Padmavati. And the saying goes that Padmavati was a dancer in the temple, in Puri Jagannath temple. So when he saw Padmavati, he felt so much in love with her. He just fell in love with that beautiful dancer that he imagined the love of Krishna and Radha, and he tried to bring that emotion onto his poetry. So it's got the kavya, the classical Sanskrit poetry, poetic format of kavya, but it's a very unique poetry. It's called Ashtapadi because of those 8 cantos, in each poem that he's divided his whole poetry into. All of it. And like often it's said, there is no English parallel. It's not a poem, it's not a sonnet, it is none of those. It's just it's a dramatic lyrical poem, like kavya verse, but dramatic lyrical poem. So the metrical format also is very different. It has metaphors, of course, upma, which all of them have in poetry. It has alliteration, which is basically the description of the words flow. They describe, and they talk about different aspects of the same thing, right? In different ways. So in Sakhiye Kesi Madanavadaram, my Rama and I have said this rag as Shuddh Sarang. Okay, because it's a very delicate poem. It's a very delicate poem because Radha has met Krishna before this poem, and she's had a dalliance with him, a certain dalliance with him, but not a complete dalliance with him. Not completely. They've not made love, or they have not united as a couple. So she's had this little thing, and she's full of desire. She does not know who to express that desire to. As you know, Radha is older than Krishna. Yes, and she was a married woman, so which makes her a Parakiya Naika. And a Parakiya Naika cannot be a Mugdha. Even if she's had a new romance,
Right.
she's not a Mugdha. She's not a Prauda because she's not that old. And this is like a new love for her. Krishna is a new love.
Yeah.
So she's somewhere in between. She's not even a mature Pragalbha who can, entice Krishna or seduce him, and she
So
can
she's also getting lost in that love.
in that whole idea of love, and she does not know what's happened to her.
So
And
she's not an Uttama also.
she is not a Uttama, because see, I mean, when you talk about a Nayika as a Uttama Nayika, you're talking about a married woman or a woman who loves only one man, and also has a physical relationship and intimacy with one man.
Only one.
But Radha was married, and she's in love with now Krishna. And so in that context, you can't call her an Uttama, I would imagine.
But somehow when we think of Radha, we always imagine her as that pure love, that Uttama. It's
See,
just that idea of her purity in love.
Personally, if you ask me, I would say purity in love is Uttama. Yes, because a lot of married women are compromised.
Yeah.
And they don't really love their husbands. And, and I mean, not in the completeness with which Radha loved Krishna.
Though she wasn't married.
Though she wasn't married to him. Or Meera loved Krishna, but not Meera's love was different. Very, very different. It was more like a Bhakti Shringar concept, whereas Radha's was not a Bhakti Shringar, it was complete Shringara, total Shringara. So according to me, I mean, if I have to do Radha, I would do her more as a Madhyama, and Parakiya Madhyama, Nayika. And I don't think being a Madhyama is a bad thing, because it's
okay.
It's okay. I mean, you can't be a saint and be Uttama also, in that context. So, yeah, she has desire for Krishna. And she also desires that he loves only her and nobody else. She doesn't want to share him. She's very possessive of him. So that passion for Krishna, there's a certain possessiveness in her passion for Krishna. So, I would do her as a Madhyama. I would be more comfortable doing her as a Madhyama, because my own gurus told me that when you do a Uttama Nayika, you have to be really understated in bringing out your expressions. Whatever the expressions are, you cannot show desire and passion and abandon. Yeah. So towards the end of Ashtapadi, if you see, when there's Kuru Yadunandana and all that, it's a total abandonment.
Yes.
A passionate abandonment, and she gives herself completely to him, body, mind and soul.
Consistency of the character.
Yes. You have to keep a consistency of character, and for me that's very important. When I do an item, I think, and for the people I teach, I always tell them that if you don't have that consistency, somewhere along the way, you'll miss the characterization itself. So you'll not know how to come back.
Correct. Yeah.
To that, because you already missed the emotional content of the character.
Yeah, and that is also part of the style.
Style.
That is also part of holiness.
How can you do a Sanchari or a Vyabhichari if you don't set your sthai? So I would set my sthai as a Madhyama, I would set her as a Parakiya, and I would set her as a woman who, who's so passionate and desirous. So here is in Sakhiye, for example, she wants to recount that she's met this man, and she met him, in the jungle, and that what he did to her immediately, and how she couldn't control herself because she fell in. It was love at first sight. She says Prathama Samagama. The very first time I saw him, set eyes, when we fell in love, because we knew that we belonged to each other. So she tells this to a Sakhi, and a Sakhi is almost always an older woman, a more mature woman who understands
what the heroine is going
through, the situation that the heroine is going through, and she tries to advise, she tries to cajole, she tries to convince, she tries to coax her to doing certain things. Sometimes she's the messenger, most times she's a messenger.
Yeah, here she's going back and forth between Krishna and Radha.
She goes to Krishna, she finds out what he is doing, she comes back and tells Radha what he is doing. She goes to Radha and tells what Krishna is doing, she goes to Krishna and says what Radha is doing. So basically she's trying to bring them both together. She's like a conduit, who's trying to bring these two passionate lovers together. So in Sakhiye, Radha is, when you first fall in love and you're in love, but you're a married woman, can you recount that love to somebody? Can you express it? Only to your best friend, right? So this
Very
Sakhi,
difficult situation.
very difficult situation. So even if she's her best friend, let's assume that this Sakhi is her best friend. Okay, then can I tell her? So that little trepidation of should I say, should I not say, how much should I say, how much should I not say, has to come out. And that is what distinguishes this poem from the other, the other situations. I mean, other poems that are there in this, the Ashtapadis. And this rag was set by O.S. Haran, and he, I mean, it was beautiful because earlier I used to do it in other rags. Sometimes it became wailing, sometimes it's weepy. That is not the situation. It's romantic, it's desirous, it's a little uncertain. It's got that, the thing of new love, confusion, anxiety, and all of that. So I'm going to ask Rama to just sing the Pallavi. So see, basically, okay, this is also something I must tell you. When we know that Ashtapadis don't have Pallavis,
Yes. Yeah,
right?
just couplets.
They are four lines into 8 cantos, right? And that's why they're called Ashtapadis. But a performer, a dancer, when she performs Ashtapadi, you have to set the Pallavi. So what is your bass line? What is your line of refrain that you keep coming back to?
So how do we select that?
So when you read the poetry, like for example, Nibruta Nikunja, Kataya Nishi Rahasi, you sing this song. This can't be the Pallavi, right? Nibruta Nikunja Kataya. I'm going in the jungle. Now that cannot be a refrain. So what is the refrain? The refrain, like I said, is she is telling her Sakhi that I met Krishna, right? That is the main,
Your constant.
the import of the whole entire song becomes then the refrain. The import of the song in this is Sakhi, I met him. Sakhi, you know him. Sakhi, I don't know what happened to me, but my heart, really went faster when I met him. So Sakhiya Kesi Madana Mudaram to me is the Pallavi, not Nibruta Nikunja. So I go through, normally when I go through poetry of the kind of Ashtapadis, I set my refrain, what I would like to be the Pallavi. Okay. So in this, for me, the Pallavi is Sakhiye Kesi Madana Mudaram. And the Anupallavi would be Ramaya Maya, the second line. Because what she says, Sakhiye, that Keshi, the killer of the demon Kesi I met, Mudaram. But he's not that, he's actually very soft-hearted. In this dalliance of love, Ramaya Maya, Saha Madana Mano Rita. So when we met and when we were, going together, when we had this little dalliance, this man was more handsome than Manmata himself. Wow, he stood there and then my heart went to him. Oh Sakhi, please bring him. He's Kesi Madana, yes. I mean, he's the slayer of demons. But he's not all that. To me, he's my lover. To me, he's my passion. To me, he's my hero. Because he is so handsome, and if he just stands there, he's like Sakshat Manmata. Or maybe better than Manmata, So these are the things, like I said, alliteration is, he is Manmata. He's better than Manmata. I mean, that's metaphor actually, when you say he is Manmata. Then alliteration would be, no, but he's Manmata's father, or he's better than Manmata. He's even better than that, more handsome than Manmata. So I have said Sakhiye Kesi Madaram as, like I said, a Pallavi, and Ramaya Maya line as the Anupallavi. And I'm just going to ask her to sing that, and we'll go through how we deal with her in the context of what we have spoken. And I would like you to tell me, Aparakiya, Madhyama, how would she do this? In the context of which I have shown you, I've spoken to you about. Manchur, Radha. Okay, let us assume she's coming. She's looking for someone to talk to. She doesn't know what to do. She's thinking about all these Sakhis, who can I talk to? Who can I say anything to? And front of others. I don't want to talk in front of others. Come, come, come. Take her away. Let us go there behind the bushes or the tree or something. I have something to tell you.
Sakhiye
Sakhiye.
Keshi Madana Mudara.
Will you do it?
Sakhiye
What do you
Keshi Madana Mudara.
He is K.C. Madana, but to me he is like soft-hearted. And loving.
Sakhiye Keshi Madana Mudara.
So when you have to form sentences each time you do the same line, in a sense like what am I trying to say now? So first time I was trying to say Sakhiye, he may be the slayer of K.C. but no, he's very joyful and kind-hearted. Then come on Sakhi, come on, listen to me. I'm telling you something. Yeah, he is the slayer of, he is. First he may be the slayer, no? Yeah, he is. But he's got such a beautiful soft heart. You don't know.
So variations of the same line.
Same line, yeah. There are two ways, in Padams and Ashtapadis and Javalis, we don't do a story.
Yeah.
So we try to bring
This variation is the Sanchar.
Sanchar of the same
A
line.
lot of times people think that when you construct another story, it's a Sanchar.
That's right.
Right? But that's not.
Not in a Padam, not in an Ashtapadi. And your own maturity as a dancer and your own level of having reached a certain stage comes out by the number of variations you can bring, subtle variations, like they do in music. The Ragam, Tanam, Pallavi type. When they try to elaborate on one particular note and they do it many different ways, in that way. So we're just trying to say, okay, Sakhi, come listen to me first. Come, I have something to tell you. Come, let's go there. I got something to tell you. And then you know that he is, but then he's so good. No, please listen to me. Please, suppose Sakhi says, oh God, don't bother me. I have to go with my friend. No, don't go. Please listen to me. Pahadi.
Sakhiye Keshi Madana Mudara.
I'm saying something to you and you're not even listening to me.
Sakhiye.
You know what you're doing. So there are many ways of you can try, but each time you do a sentence, you will be very clear what you're trying to say. What are you trying to say? Because you've got to complete the sentence. It has to start and have a full stop. Because the next time she says Sakhiye, your sentence is different.
Yeah.
And what
Pauses are
very, very important. And what you're trying to say through that particular line in that particular sentence. So I would like you to just give me 4 or 5 variations of this. What I was just doing, 4 variations. Okay, we'll settle with 4 now.
Sakhiye.
No, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. Enter. Sakhiye ಮಾತು.
Sakhiye Keshi Madana Mudara. Sakhiye Keshi Madana Mudara. Sakhiye Keshi Madana Mudara.
I'm talking to you and you're not even listening to me.
Sakhiye Keshi ಮದನ ಮುದಾರ
Okay. Now the last one that you did.
ಸಖಿಯೇ ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ
So basically, if you when you're saying that after talking to her and talking about Casey, now she already knows Sakhi. Okay, she knows that something is happening between you
And him.
and Krishna. So you can't just give her a nice soft thing and say
And blush away.
blush away. She'll say, "What the hell is this? You already told me so much about him. You're saying he's that. I know what's happening between you, and you're saying, soft." So when if you want to do that hand also, the intensity of that hand should be much more because you're telling her a secret which you've not told her before.
Okay. So that should build.
That should build. The tempo of it, the emotion should build. And even that, I want to talk to you in private. No, I don't want all these people to listen. Come, I will talk about that guy, that Keshi Madana. Krishna. So,
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್
same.
ಸಖಿಯೇ ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ ಮುದ
In that 1 minute, na Subhashini, you should get because there's no contradiction between the holding Sakhi and doing Kesi Madana. Yeah, he is that, but that second part of it, Udaram, is when you come back to Sakhi. But you can't all the time be soft. Even in Kesi Madanam, you can't be soft when you're doing that. You should bring that little variation in your face also.
ಸಖಿಯೇ ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ ಮುದ ಸಖಿಯೇ ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ ಮುದಾರ ಸಖಿಯೇ ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ ಮುದಾರ ಸಖಿಯೇ ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ ಸಖಿ ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ ಮುರಾರ
Bring him to me, please. Okay? That you can do. And then
ಸಖಿ
I'm talking.
ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ ಮುರಾರ
Then this one.
ಸಖಿಯೇ ಕೇಶಿ ಮದನ
Just his word, you're just saying Keshi and look what's happening to me. My heart is, beating. Come on, please. So all these variations you can get in Sakhi because she is trying to tell her Sakhi something which she has felt and which she doesn't want anybody else to know. She wants to tell this particular Sakhi, she wants to tell her to go and get him, to convey her message of love to him. She doesn't know what's happening to her. So she's more like that Naika who is, in trepidation, in uncertainty, but is full of desire. What should I do? What should I do? Kind of a thing. Now, what should I do? How do I tell this Sakhi that I love him so much? So then you come to this line 2, Ramaya. So, ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ರಾಮಯ್ಯ ರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಹೌದಾ So we'll continue with the Anupallavi in the next class. Yeah? Thank you.